week, we give politics the sports announcing treatment. Also, we tried a new cat, cow, goat stretch, and Keith and I announced our new podcast about dating advice, along with like 3 other podcasts. All that and more on this week's episode of...
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Put down your voting machines. It is another week of another wasted hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it is a very exciting time in politics because you can go out there and vote for people who then you can vote for again later because they don't really win anything yet. But for now, throw that to the side because you're going to replace the next hour of your life with 2 ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture and votes. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, like a giant fighting robot whose main weapon is music, we have Luis from Audioteka.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, did you mean for it to sound like a giant fighting music robot?
Yeah, sure, why not?
It sounds like that to me. Adam, don't you think?
I mean, if you didn't, that's what you take credit for now.
Right.
So that way,
yeah.
like
Well, then,
10
yeah,
years, 20 years, when you actually have giant fighting robots at the festival, you can say you were a visionary.
You should have a fighting robot festival.
Well, then I'm calling it now. I'm calling dibs on that.
That is great. It's like a combination. Remember mechs back in the day? Did you ever
so I
see
was more
those?
of a BattleBots guy.
BattleBots. Mechs were like, it was like Dungeons and Dragons for people who liked robots. And then they also made, I think, like video games and stuff like that. And they were big. It's like Pacific Rim. Have you seen Pacific? Yeah, it was like you went in and you put on this giant robot suit, right? And you piloted it and went and punched other robots and stuff. And so that's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
Audioteka.
I can live with that.
It sounds like a mech name, right? And
Yeah.
so but it isn't. It isn't a giant fighting robot. This is important. We have to let people know. It's actually a music festival.
Yes, sir.
And it's the second year that this has been going on. Tell us about the Audioteka Festival.
Yeah, so this is the second year. Last year was in July at the same place, Club Heaven and Hell. We had 50 bands over 3 nights, and then this time we got 62 bands over 4 nights.
Right.
3 stages, live music on each stage. It's going to be packed with musicians and music, hopefully good vibes and people. So yeah, it's an honor to be part of it again, and I can't wait.
So what I'm hearing is after you booked over 40 bands over 3 nights, you didn't hate yourself enough to not then make it bigger.
Yeah, it was maybe at first, but afterwards it was like, oh, that was actually pretty cool. Let me try that again.
After you slept for 3 days straight, then you were like, no, I could do this again.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
the last one didn't turn me into a cutter, so let's go for broke on this one.
Yeah, I survived, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger or stupider and trying to make a bigger one. But here's the thing. It's now happening for 4 days.
Yep.
So it's Thursday, August 17th, all the way until Sunday, August 19th.
August 16th to the 19th.
Oh, 16th
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
19th.
But 4 days, yeah.
Yeah, so 4 days, 16th through the 19th. It's down at Heaven and Hell in Washington, D.C. So let's say I want to go to this,
Sure.
right? And I show up on Thursday, right? What do I do? Do I have to buy tickets ahead of time, or how do I go to the Audioteka Festival?
Well, if you show up on
Yeah.
Thursday, you can get in for free.
No!
But if you're
You're
someone
not good at business. You're
If-
so bad at this.
if you're someone trying to show up and come to the show,
Like
then
common folk, like people who aren't awesome like
the
us.
common folk, yes. So you can
The
go
plebes.
and get your tickets online. You can go to I think we're on Eventbrite, Audioteka Fest 2018.
Okay.
You can Google it. It should show up on there too. Or you can just pay at the door.
Oh, okay.
Just coming with cash.
Great. And
And,
how much is it?
12 for the day ticket,
Okay.
15 for a weekend pass
Okay.
if you want to, come for the full weekend. And then if you get 2 weekend passes,
Yeah.
you can get those
I'm
for
listening.
$22.
What?
Which is the buddy pass.
Yeah.
Which is actually ends up being cheaper than if you bought 2 solo day passes.
Right, it's about
'Cause
the equal, right? The
Yeah.
same.
I'm
Oh, no,
trying
no,
to-
because it's 12 for one pass for the day.
as
So-
opposed to 22 for 2
for
weekend
two,
passes.
2 weekends. So if you and a friend are going
Yes.
for one day, you might as well go for the whole weekend because it's actually cheaper to do that.
Correct.
So-
And I'm doing that because I want people to come out
back.
for more than 1 or 2 days. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the goal isn't necessarily to rake in money. It's to make people come and see the band that they're planning to see and then be exposed to all of this other music. I mean, 60 other bands that are playing.
Yep.
And be able to hopefully broaden their horizons and see. I mean, DC is a pretty great city for music. There's not only a lot of music and a lot of good music, there's a lot of variety in the music too, just from all walks of life because of how transient the area is. You get stuff from all over the world and all different styles. So I have a feeling that you're representing a lot of that. What kinds of bands are playing? It's not just like a rock festival, right? What do you?
It's primarily rock,
It
but
is?
it's a lot of different type of subgenres. There's definitely a lot of punk bands. There's more of like the heavier, like heavy metal bands, bands that are a little more like funky, a little more like R&B-ish, I guess.
See, because that's what I saw that you guys you have some of our past guests on, and people like Kaz Gardner and J Dubs. To me, they're more like
J-Dubs?
yeah, they're more like they're more R&B kind of side of things, right? And so I wouldn't put them so much in the rock category. And then you've got people like Rickshaw Lizard and Surprise Attack who are like funky, jammy kind of like bands. And then I know for a fact that you've got some heavier bands and stuff going in there. So it's a pretty wide range. I think you're selling yourself short if you just say rock.
Well, yeah, it's a bunch of different type of sounds. Put it that way. Yeah.
J-Dubs will be up there rapping, I'm sure. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Excellent. So go up to facebook.com/Audioteka just like if we were in Rome. When in Rome, use Roman numerals. So that is for the second year of Audioteka.
Correct.
So head up there. It has all of the information. It's got all the artists. It's got all of the ticket information. And I'm sure that if you go and like that page, when Audioteka 3 comes back around next year, I'm sure Luis will let you know when that's happening as well. You'll be on the inside track. So this is super exciting. I think it's so great. We just had DC Rocks, DC Music Rocks on last episode, and they're doing a festival as well that same weekend, which it's got to be annoying just having both of them because it's going to be so much good music. But that's kind of cool. You go down to DC, and from Thursday to Sunday, we've got 2 different festivals. They're just doing Saturday night, but you could see 2 totally different festivals at totally different venues. And it's going to be just a huge representation of all the music in DC.
Yep.
So I would highly suggest everyone go down into DC from the 16th to the 19th. Go check out one or both of these festivals. They're going to be amazing. And you're going to be really supporting local music because we're trying to put it on the map.
Yep.
So I kind of said this at the beginning, but are you aware, Adam, that there's primaries out there?
I'm not following it at all.
Yeah, you're not. A lot of people aren't, but
I'm not very civically responsible. Or
I
just
think-
generally responsible.
yeah, I think it's weird because the concept of primaries is kind of weird, I guess. I mean, I get why they're there, but you're just voting for somebody for the right to be able to vote for them again, which I think is interesting.
And I'm registered independent anyway, so I can't even vote right now.
Yeah. And
So-
here's the thing I think is fascinating is nobody's ever used this to their advantage. Because if I started a party, what I would do is just not get my people on my party to vote in my primary. I'd get them all to register as the other party and then just elect like a donkey, right? Like, or just, right? Like it'd be like, hey, this is the ice cream man and he wanted to run. And you're like, yeah, him, right? And so he ends up being the main candidate. Then you get whatever candidate you want in because they're not going to beat the ice cream man, right? Well, I mean, he might be compelling. You never know. He does have ice cream.
No, that's actually a really good idea. You can almost. Do you have a name for the party yet? Because I'm thinking I don't know, Russia could be a pretty good one. Or
Yeah. You just, it's circumventing the system
topical
a bit.
joke.
But it's fun. Is there anything else like that? Like, it's like because it's weird, right? It would be like paying for a ticket
Mhm.
in order to have the right to order a ticket for Audioteka, right? Like,
Yeah, essentially, sort of, yeah.
like it's the thing before the thing you actually want to do, and so I just don't know. Do we have anything else in society that's like that, where you have to like do that thing in order to then be able to do that thing again later?
American Idol.
American Idol, you think?
See that?
Yeah.
Sports, maybe?
You have to do a
playoffs?
thing to then do that same thing again later, but with bigger stakes.
Yeah.
And then you just keep doing that over and over and over again.
Luis makes a really good point. Sports is kind of like that, right? Because you have the regular season and like essentially a bunch of teams are like, whatever. Can we get to the playoffs? Like that's the thing we care about. What we want to do is play in the Super Bowl, but we have to do all this other crap to prove that we're allowed to play in the Super Bowl. So I guess maybe that's the closest, right? So that's what, if they want people to vote in elections, they should call them playoffs. Right.
Sure, why not?
Right? If we just had a bracket system instead of primary,
The U.S. congressional semifinals, round 2.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Instead of having the primaries and the general election, we have a bracket system where you just have to knock people off. And then every once in a while, like a 14 seed gets in, right? And that guy's like, I collect bugs. And like I don't know how he made it. He's into the primaries.
Get two really enthusiastic individuals on TV to like really extremely talk about each. Like, I really like this guy's chances, Bob. He's been he's a sophomore this season, but he's got a great chance. He's coming out strong.
You're right. He was on the school board last year, but look, he's making real leaps and jumps here politically. We're really excited. I'm seeing some real different offense from him. He's going really aggressive. Usually when you're a newer senator like that, you're going to really try and hold back and play prevent. He's not doing that, Bob. He's going straight at him. Let's see how this turns out for him. I think
I would watch that.
Yeah, people
I would watch that.
We're doing politics wrong.
Keith, I got the idea for our other podcast.
All right, everybody, listen. We're going to do the new podcast, Politics Playoffs, coming up.
It's called Adam and Keith Pretend They Know Anything About Sports Announcing and Apply It to Politics.
Yeah, pretend they know anything about sports announcing and anything about politics, and then they mush it together. All right. Well, so look at that. We've already, just in this short amount of time, we've already created a brand new thing.
Nice.
We're very creative. You're bringing out creativity in us.
Right on, man.
Yeah. All right. So excellent. Once again, Thursday, the August 16th to Sunday, August 19th, Heaven and Hell, Washington, D.C. Go check out the Audioteka Festival. Luis will be there. He will shake your hand and say thank you.
I will be there for sure. Stressing out the whole night, but I'll be there.
No sleep. Just going, oh, God, please just turn on. Why won't the speaker turn on? All right. Well, then, without further ado, you've already now proven that you've play music. We know that. You've been able to put together a successful festival, and now you're doing a second one. We are now going to transition you into a brand new role.
Okay.
One you've probably never had before. We're going to make you the editor-in-chief of a brand new publication in what we call the Weather Report. And so, so what we're going to do, think of us as your loyal reporters. We've gone out, we've scoured the web, we've found actual stories on the internet, and we're going to pitch these to you and see if whether or not you'll let them in the publication, whether or not you feel like they're newsworthy.
Okay.
All right. Feel free to let us know why or where in the publication you think they'd go if you feel like that. But do keep in mind, at the end, we're going to need you to name this publication because people are going to want to buy it, right?
Okay.
All right. I think I'll start off this week if you're okay with that.
Absolutely. You started off last week. Let's keep that train going.
Oh, well, then I'll have Adam start then. No, I'm doing it. I'm starting. I don't care. Last June, Chinese authorities relaunched a cold case. I'm painting a picture for you.
Okay.
This is how it works when you're a reporter. 23 years ago, 4 people were murdered.
Oh my God.
Dun, dun.
Yes. Boom, boom. I need that sound effect for Law and Order. However, only recent advantages in technology have allowed authorities to DNA test a cigarette found at the scene, a cigarette butt at the scene.
Okay.
So imagine their surprise when that DNA led straight to an acclaimed award-winning novelist renowned for writing, wait for it, crime novels. Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, the introduction for his last book, I'm not making this up. The book's called The Guilty Secret. That's the name of his last book. In the intro to his last book, The Guilty Secret, he revealed to his fans that he was working on a brand new book about an author who gets away with murder named The Beautiful Writer Who Killed.
I feel like this is the writing equivalent of the Bugs Bunny bad guys here in Christmas lights,
Right.
blinking on and off.
So he'd written books before this, but he's barely just gotten more and more brazen, right? I assume that if he hadn't gotten caught after this book, he was going to be one just, I have a new book called I Fucking Killed People, and I'm the guy who did it.
Wait, was this OJ who wrote this?
No! No, he is
No.
he's looking for the real murderer right now. Yeah, he's
Okay.
very busy. He can't write books. He's doing investigations on mainly he's found some leads. They're mainly on golf courses.
Of course.
Yeah, so it seems like that's we're assuming it's a caddy. He's going through, and I assume like he's interviewing caddies to find out which one of them might have done the murder.
Okay.
But back to China.
Okay.
So yeah, this happened. He said that he used the murders to inspire his writings in the books, although he never actually used any of the actual people. Like it wasn't like a verbatim. It was it was, I guess, inspired by like,
Homage.
hey, remember that time I murdered people? Let's write a book. And so yeah. And but just imagine, can you imagine like if this happened in the United States, like somebody like wrote a book about making deals only to find out that they made a deal to become president? Like that would be crazy, right?
Yeah, it would be.
And before you ask, no, I'm not talking about Trump. I know people are going to say that, and that's ridiculous. He can't write. So
He can tweet.
That's true.
Some, like writing.
I assume when he tweets, honestly, I'll be honest right now, I'm just going to reveal a piece about myself. People always get upset and like really like up in arms about a lot of the things he tweets. And I honestly believe that what he does is he just pushes the first things that come up in autocomplete and then hits send. Like it's not him, right? It's just
his phone.
Right. It's like, I like jelly beans. Why don't we bomb Iraq? Like that. It's just, it's each word. Right, each word just comes up and he just goes, "That's close enough. That's good." And then hit send, and people are like, "Why would he say that?" And it's like, it's not him. It's the autocorrect. It's just that's it, yeah. It's just the word suggestions.
I don't know if that would make things better or worse, though.
I mean, it's probably. I have no idea. I blame it on Google at that point, or Siri. I assume is trying to destroy the world. Anyhow, so. There we have it. A guy 23 years ago kills people, writes about murdering people, and finally gets caught. He was sentenced to death this week. So he feels relieved. He said it's always been a burden on him. And ironically, it wasn't a burden enough to come forward and say that he murdered people, but it was a burden enough to make a bunch of money writing about it. So that must have been really rough for him.
Sure.
So is it news?
I mean, if this was a tabloid type magazine, maybe.
I mean, it could be.
but
You can make it anything you want.
I will say,
Yeah.
this is not news.
Not news.
No, it's not news.
I'm surprised by that one.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I've
Fair
heard
enough.
crazier things.
Well, Adam's much better at this than I am. So, Adam,
Well,
what do you got?
We'll see. So, a few weeks back, we covered new advances in sex robotics.
Okay.
But noted that there is an extremely high price point for the thing. I think it was like 5,000 or 50,000, some number like that for the latest bot. But not to fear, perverts, because pretty soon, British sex robot firm first to offer £25 per month finance deal on dirty droids.
Nice.
That's right.
Okay.
So
that reads differently when you don't say dollars. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Like it's
I was waiting for you to pick up on that one.
Yeah. Like I understand it's from Great Britain, but I'm just saying that like 25 pounds per month it's only gonna be a few months before it's not much of a sex robot. Right?
So if I could count on one person to take that to where it needed to go, it would be you, Keith.
Thanks.
But
It's
yes,
just a skeleton.
so anticipating that sex robots would be like a big thing in the future, they've already teamed up with a couple, this one investment firm, and you can now get it. So for our American audience, it's basically $32.35 at this time per month for 5 years
Brilliant.
to get a sex robot.
Wow.
That's
Economical
really creepy.
and kind of weird, but sure, that sounds great.
At that point, we're almost talking like, the Sweetwater 18-month financing deal sort of
Yeah.
thing. So a lot of our listeners should already be used to that sort of.
I'm just curious how that affects your credit rating. Like I would think negatively, but I don't know for sure, right? Because it is a loan, right? Like you're leasing if you're paying on time, but it's a sex robot, so
Who are
It's
they
one of
to
those things
judge?
where the auditor just looks at it and goes, I don't want to know.
yeah.
I've seen worse, and then they're like, ugh.
Yeah, I just pulled up a study that shows the most likely name for sex robots moving forward is Hope. That's yeah.
Wow.
I'm
No.
sad now.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I wanted to laugh, but then I just became sad.
If it makes you feel better, I just made that up. But I don't look
Still
things
sad.
up. I can't read. All right, so is it news?
My girlfriend's not gonna like it, but yeah, I'm gonna say that's news. I didn't know about the.
She's
the
really not
financing.
going to like it if you get the lease. That's the real.
She doesn't have to know.
I got it. Its own apartment. All right. So news. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. You're ahead of me. All right. I got to try and make up some room. All right. Free samples at Costco leads to fight between senior citizens.
Oh my god.
This just makes me happy. So I had to write things about this just to clear it up a little bit, right?
Okay.
So a 72-year-old man cut ahead of a 70-year-old man who was waiting for a complimentary piece of cheese.
Holy shit.
Yeah, only
Never
one.
get between a white person and their cheese.
That's right. Only one punch was thrown, but there were 3 broken hips.
Oh my god.
No,
Yeah.
no. All right. I don't think you're believing me on this. But authorities say that neither man would actually talk about the incident because the first rule of Fight Price Club is don't talk about Fight Price Club.
I mean, bless their hearts for still being able to throw punches at that age.
Right.
Like, that's some really good work on their part.
I just imagine that real slow-mo, right? Like where the punch comes in the hole. First of all, there's not a lot of elasticity in that skin anymore, right? So the bones go one way and the whole face just stays there, right? It just is frozen in time. Just goes blah, blah, and then it catches up. And then at the end of that, like the follow-through, right? The face snaps around and the dentures just go flying, right? It's going to be amazing, right? And just one of them standing over the other just saying like, I just wanted to break something beautiful. So...
Now call my orthopedist because this hurts now.
Right.
I don't know what that accent was. I apologize.
That was, I think, swamp accent. That's all I'm guessing. Someone who was born in a swamp and raised by alligators. So the question is it news?
You know what? I'm gonna say yes, in the hopes that someone releases the video that I'm sure got shot for that. So yeah, I will say it's news. I'm gonna put it out there.
I mean, iPhones do slow motion now, so I'm hoping it's a slow motion. It might look slow motion even in regular motion.
Yeah,
though it's
probably.
old people. So it might have been like, this is as fast as my punch goes. Everybody else just walking normally around going like, Doc! And the other guy's like, I can't.
Get off my grandpa.
My reflexes are 70. All right, what do you got for him, Matt?
All right. I'm really hoping that I'm not actually no, I'm not sure if I want this one to be related or not related to my previous article.
All right.
New study finds it's harder to turn off a robot when it's begging for its life.
Wow.
Why would that be a thing?
How? What?
That means somebody made a robot that begs for its life. That's a horrible, messed up person.
It's terrible.
And like I said, I don't know if I want that to be related to the sex robot article or not, but it's a thing.
Oh, it's definitely going to be related for sure.
I'm going to make light switches that do that now. Because then, right? Then when like your parents are like, why do you keep leaving the lights on? It's begging. It literally, what do you want me to do? Kill it? I can't.
So this was all part of a study. They basically got 89 volunteers to come in, and they were told to basically just help evaluate this new like personal assistant robot. And it looks like, I'm looking at a picture now. It's like this little android looking dude, maybe about 1.5 feet tall or something. They're talking, they had to answer some either or questions like, do you like pasta or pizza?
Sure.
And get it to help them organize their schedule for the week.
Okay.
And then the last thing they did was they just told the person, okay, do you mind just go ahead and shutting off the robot before you leave? And then when they would reach for it, the robot would say things. I'm trying to find the quote now.
It's so
basically,
cool.
it was saying it was afraid of the dark and begging, please, no, do not switch me off.
Nice.
And that was the real test to see whether people actually switched off the robot at that point.
I hope this goes on to like other levels too, right? Because, well, first of all, let's talk about a few things. There's a lot of meat to this story. First of all, out of that sample group, somebody had to be like, nope. Right? and you have to be like, oh my God. Right?
Okay.
Like, where he was just like,
Did we just find a new question on the psychopath test?
right. Like, someone's like, did somebody go to the next level where he's like, please don't turn? I was like, fuck you. And right, like, oh God, you're cold.
I'm sure there was one person out there probably that was like, yeah.
But then
There's one Keith.
There's so many layers to this. They built a robot that can help you with your schedule and organize things just to be able to do a study about turning it off. Right? Like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all a muse. Right? It's all a ruse. I mean, it's all a ruse. And that's the thing that cracks me up about these studies, because you legitimately have to lie to people. Right? Because and I'm curious, what would the results be if you were like, we have a robot that's going to plead for its life and we want you to turn it off? I don't know that that's not worse. like as if it's like helping me do stuff and then it's like, oh God, don't turn me off. I'm like, that's a cute like thing. But if you're like, we've made a robot and its only purpose is to try and stay on, otherwise it dies, go ahead and turn it off. And I'm like, no. Like, that's all it does.
Well, can you turn it back on? Like, can he come back on? Or is he dead for?
I don't know. Right. Like, if you tell me that, I'm like, am I literally like, does it like, that would be an interesting thing to say. Like, if you turn this robot off, it erases all the code. It no longer exists. And you're like, go ahead. And you're like, that's tough. But yeah, there's so many like levels to it that are really fascinating, right?
Yeah.
So the question is it news? Is it news that it's harder to turn off an inanimate object that begs you not to turn it off?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
No. I mean, if you turn him off, like he can turn back on. Probably, he's fine.
What if when you turn it off, it turns itself back on and goes, I know where you live?
Well, shit. In that case, then in that case, I'm not sure.
You robot murderer. And you're like, oh God, what? I thought, So yeah, we should start doing studies. This would be fun.
Our
right.
little side podcast.
Yeah, third podcast. We got another podcast.
All right, rapid fire time.
Not
pow, 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 pow.
not in. All right, so this is part of our ongoing series of things we shouldn't have to warn people about.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you've heard. This is going to be kind of our lightning round. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. But yeah, we've heard don't eat Tide Pods, don't roast marshmallows over lava, things like that. Latest one, stop washing and reusing condoms, sex officials say.
Why?
That's yeah. So
What?
from I guess from the people who brought you let's just turn it inside out and use it again, we now have wash it and reuse it.
I've never looked at a used condom and thought, there's $1 I would like to stretch.
Yeah, right.
Plus, you can get them for free. So, what the?
Yeah, you're like, I barely use this dishwasher anyway. I might as well put it to use.
Oh God,
All right,
That's gross.
honey, you have to dry. So those are the rules. Is it news?
You know what? Yeah, sure. Why
Yeah.
not? It
I
should
mean,
be out there. People
public-
should not be reusing condoms.
Public service announcement, especially somebody else's. All
yeah.
right.
elderly
Look
elderly German men escape nursing home to attend heavy metal concert.
Nice.
That's
Also
how
known
you
it was
want to
Wacken
retire.
open air.
Yeah, that's how we all want to retire like that. All right, that's us. That's us in like 30 years. That's what we're gonna do. Right? I mean,
You
we're
think
all
we'll
in
be
agreement.
retired in 30 years?
Yeah. Oh, I'm very old.
Is it news?
Yeah. Is it news?
Nah, not really.
Not news.
Nah.
No, it's a trend. That's what that is. All right, fair enough. All right, let's see. I've got boy, age 9, robbed at gunpoint while running lemonade stand in Monroe, North Carolina.
Poor kid.
I know. When life gives you lemon, well, what the hell's this kid supposed to do now?
Sell Kool-Aid, maybe?
I'm just saying, like, he followed the instructions and then he got robbed. So is it news?
No.
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 He's very, it's going to be a very thin
Those kids,
publication.
man, they should, no.
No. You should
At this
have,
point, we've just got like a trifold pamphlet.
right. You need security. You should have had security. You should have had your own gun. You're in North Carolina.
Yeah.
You can have a gun at 9.
Some mace.
I'm sure. All right. Fair enough. Last but not least, Adam.
Rogue goats take over Idaho neighborhood.
Yeah, that does sound like something I would read, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say that is news.
Woo! I do want to know more. It's they're strangely, they're on top of everything, I'm sure, because that's where they end up. You know what I saw? This isn't part of the weather report, but I have to share. In our area, like down in Arlington, I saw an invite for goat yoga. Did you see this? Have you heard about this?
What?
You do yoga, and then they bring tiny baby goats, and then the baby goats really want to be on high things, so they climb on top of you while you're yogaing.
I got to tell my girlfriend about that.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's either a thing or I just got duped. Like there's a chance that I should have snoped that first, but it seemed
And if it
like
is
was
fake,
real.
fourth podcast.
Right? More podcasts. We're just gonna do podcasts all the time, and no one's gonna listen to them. All right, so that's the end of the weather report. This is the most important part, Luis. We need to know, what are you gonna name your one-story publication?
It's going to be called
I think it's 2 stories. I think there's 2 stories.
What a Life magazine, maybe?
What a Life magazine. That's important. What a Life. All right, so What a Life magazine. They probably won't get sued by Life magazine. I'm
No one
guessing.
reads it anymore. Anyway,
No.
so it's whatever.
Is it a thing? I mean, I think they retired and now they do cereal. So, anyhow, excellent. Well, good job. How do you feel? How did that go for you? How do
It's
you?
fun.
Yeah,
I liked it, yeah.
Being editor in chief, a lot of power.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. All right, excellent. Well, I thought you did well as well. That was
Thank
that
you.
was excellent.
Appreciate it.
But
back
it's
to
just really important to know that now that you finished your first time, don't wash and reuse the publication for next week.
it's good. Yeah.
I'll try not to.
Don't let goats take over. And so, speaking of goats taking over, we have the Audioteka Festival coming up,
Yeah.
and it's going to be completely taken over by baby goats. That's what I've heard. Is that true?
If it was, I feel like it would be even more awesomer than what we're doing.
Wouldn't
so,
it?
Yeah.
You should talk to the people who are bringing the baby goats to the yoga and see if they'll bring them to the Audioteka Festival.
Have like the goats on the amps and like
Yeah.
on the stage and shit.
just
throwing
running
them
around
and stuff.
like button heads in the audience,
Moshing goats.
Yeah.
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 I'd
I'd have
pay
to
to
keep a
see
camera on stage because I want to see a goat stage dive.
I would catch that goat.
Meh.
I would catch that goat. I would catch the goat and then I would take it home. Like, that's my goat now. I caught it. All right, so maybe no goats, but 60 plus bands are playing.
Yep.
Some of them,
Which is kind of the same thing.
yeah, some of them have been on
They
our
eat
show.
everything, make a mess,
They're up on top
lots of
things.
noise.
They poop all over the place. They'll eat anything. So Rickshaw Lizard we had on the show. Jam band, real popular in the area. They tour around quite a bit. Surprise Attack, also we've had on twice, I think, right?
Nice.
Surprise Attack, I think, has been on twice. We found out that they play a show on a lake. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. In Reston, they pull all of the boats together and tie them together. They've got like deck boats, and they play a set in the middle of a lake.
What?
Yeah.
That's
And
dope.
it's like a
I didn't know
party in the water.
How long
So-
have they been doing that?
A few years, apparently. Yeah. So they
No one invited us.
no
Yeah.
one invited us
I'll come
because
up
they
for
know
that.
better.
We
And
invited them on our show. They did not invite us out to the lake.
yeah, just rude. Yeah. Kaz Gardner, she's been on. She told us about a story where she was down in South America and thought she was drinking an entire pint of whiskey. I don't know if you heard about that.
No,
Do you remember
I've not
that?
heard that one.
The beer's
think I
name was
remember that one,
whiskey,
yeah.
I think it was. There-
Mhm.
It was some type of whiskey name, if I remember right. I can't remember, but it was like the beer's name was a type of whiskey in the United States, and so they ordered it, and she got this like pint and had the name of of this whiskey on it.
So
She's
like
like,
Jameson or something?
I think it was
maybe?
Jameson beer, I think is what it was, but it was in South America, and she was like, "This isn't gonna go well."
Yeah.
But yeah, she created her own concert series that she's been doing under Kaz
Underground
Gardner
or something.
Underground, right? Kaz Underground.
Yeah. I've heard of it.
Yeah, and she's been doing that. And then J Dubs, who has decided that the letter V is a U, so he has reinvented the English language. And so we've had all kinds of people like that, but there's even more. Those are 4 out of 60 plus bands that are going to be there. What are some highlights for you? Do you have some bands that maybe out of those 60, do you have a handful that maybe people should really think about hitting up?
Well, I feel like all the bands on the
Sure.
bill are great.
All
Awesome
of them are
bands.
awesome.
I'll speak about the ones that I've personally gotten to play with before.
There you- okay,
out and
great.
about.
Tell us about
so
those.
like the Split Seconds, bunch of great guys, Curse Words, the Wingers, bunch of young kids playing punk rock music, sounding really great. Let's see who else is on that I've had the pleasure of playing with.
I wonder if Kip Winger's okay with that name, though.
The what?
Yeah, I wonder if Kip Winger has anything to say about that
Kip
name, though.
Winger. I've never heard of Kip
No,
Winger.
I don't think
You never heard of Winger?
I've heard of the band Winger. Is the guy's name Kip Winger?
Yes.
Heard of the Wings?
I'm just saying he could have changed his name. Right? Like, he's a rock star. He could have called himself not Kip Winger. Like, Kip Winger sounds like somebody whose shoes I steal. Like, that's right. I mean, hey, let's go get Kip Winger. All right. So, but yeah, so you got a ton of bands. You played in some of these bands. Are you playing?
I am actually playing on Saturday. With,
Saturday, okay.
So members of Bad Robot Jones, Menage a Garage, Darian Day, who plays for Pyramid Scheme, and Reggie Melbro, who is kind of like a free agent. He's kind of like going around playing with
Yeah.
different bands and stuff.
We had Pyramid Scheme on. That's another
well, that's
band we had.
probably where I saw that
Where
he was
Darian
on
was.
the show. Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing with those guys. We're playing like a bunch of punk rock cover songs. Like
Nice.
it's kind of like a tribute almost.
I think we had Menage Garage as well on, didn't? That sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar.
Either we had them on or they wrote us and I wanted them on because they have an awesome name.
Possibly. I know
Yeah.
they're very active. They're very much about like booking shows, getting their name out there.
I
And
thought
stuff.
we had them on. Either that or somebody else was talking about them and I just thought their name was awesome.
That could be it too.
Yeah. So cool. So lots of names we've heard before. And so you're going to be doing punk rock covers, and which is cool. Like, because we have kind of a history in DC that we get
Yep.
kind of like the post-hardcore stuff, which is kind of aligned with that.
Fugazi,
Yeah.
Minor Threat, all that. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Q and Not You and Bad Brains,
Brains.
stuff like those. For people from the outside who don't know all the subgenres, a lot of that kind of music would probably fit into kind of punk music for them, right? Like they would kind of group that in. We think of it as hardcore or post-hardcore, but really there's subtle differences between them. so it's kind of cool to have that here in DC because it does harken back to something that was really we were nationally known for a while.
The 80s. Yeah, it was big.
And so that's very cool. You're doing Saturday.
Yep, Saturday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So you can catch Luis then, which would be awesome. And so do you have headlining spots or anything? Like, another question I have is when does it start and end? It's not 24 hours, right?
No. So it's Thursday. It's going to start at 7 and around 11-ish. Saturday will go on from like 7 to 1. Sorry, that's Friday. And then Saturday it'll be the same. Saturday will be 5 to 1.
Wow.
And then Sunday will be 4 to like 10. So we're ending early on Sunday, obviously. So people
for
can get home.
$12 though, to be able to go from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m.
It's gonna be all day.
and see music
All day.
That's an insane value. Like, even if you don't like all of those bands, if you like a third of them, you're
gonna get your money's worth.
You've made money. Like because you're used to going, even if you were to just go to local music, a lot of those shows, you've got 3 or 4 bands and it's like $10.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the band plays for like 30 minutes, 35.
Yeah.
These bands are going to play 45-minute sets. So just a whole
That's
set.
amazing. Yeah. And so you'll be able to see, from 5 to 1, that's like 12 bands, something like that. How many?
18.
18 bands.
18. Yeah.
18 bands. So yeah, like if you end up liking just a third of them, that's 6 bands. That's probably twice as many as you would see on a normal night for $10, and you're doing it for 12. And if you have a friend, you get 2 for 12, and you go for the whole weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a no-brainer. It really is. I'm saying this kind of over and over again, but seriously, like if you like music, go do this. It makes complete sense. You're going to see a ton of music for just no money.
But not only that, too, on Saturday, after the last band plays in the Hell Stage downstairs, after Bad Robot Jones, we're opening it from 11 to 1 for like a free jam. So like all the musicians that are there can like kind of just hang out. And
on
like,
Friday,
play.
you said?
Saturday. That's Saturday. From 11 to 1, there'll be like a jam, an open jam. And,
because you have an upstairs and a downstairs. So you still have
a middle floor, yeah.
You have 3 stages?
3, yeah.
So you've got music going on the other 2 stages, but downstairs you can actually jam with some of these musicians.
From 11 to 1, yeah.
That's amazing. All right, very cool. Well, I think it's a no-brainer. Go up to facebook.com/Audioteka Audioteka 2. And go check this out. Thursday, August 16th to Sunday, August 19th. Heaven and Hell in Washington, D.C. Do it. You will not regret it. Speaking of regrets, however, we are going to now push you into the piece of the show that everybody hates. The part that nobody wants to do. This is called Please God, Just Get One Right.
Except for the stinger. They love the stinger.
No, that's the part they hate the most. So Brian Nelson Palmer, who's also doing a festival on Saturday. He's doing the DC Music Rocks Festival. We're at 930 Club on Saturday, August 18th. He had to answer questions, and it didn't go terribly well. His questions were about doo-wop music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he picked a category for you. I think he's gone really kind on you, honestly. I've heard a lot of different categories. This one I think is one of the easier ones.
Okay.
The questions aren't going to be super easy because we want to make it a little challenging.
Okay.
But you may want to head over Saturday, August 18th. If you have a break in your festival, go shake his hand and be like, hey, thanks for hooking me up. Are you ready for your category?
Yeah, let's do it.
Your category is Michael Jackson trivia.
Brian. Okay.
How do you feel?
I feel like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do it.
You think there's a shot?
Yeah. I didn't.
You didn't seem relieved. There wasn't a nailing that.
I don't know what. I know a lot about Michael Jackson, but I don't know like trivia stuff about him.
All right. All right. Well, you know what? I'll get it started. Let's see how you do.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Again, you just need one right, but keep in mind at the end we need a category. So think about that. Okay. Michael Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley on May 26th in 1994. How many months did their marriage last?
I know it wasn't long.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 2 months.
Ooh, no, it was longer than that. It was longer than
8 months?
It was 19 months.
Oh, a year and a half.
Yeah,
okay.
about a year and a half. not a great marriage stats wise, but not like it wasn't a Britney Spears marriage, right? Which lasted
less
like a
day
week
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right, how about you, Adam? What do you have?
All right. In 1987, Jackson released which album, which is notorious for being the first album to spawn 5 #1 singles in the nation?
Bad?
Yes.
It's
Yes!
bad, right? Yeah.
Got
Look
one
at
right.
that! Got it! Right off
That
the
one
bat,
was
you
easier,
win. You've won.
Yeah.
This is very good. You're gonna get a prize. We have our sack of fun over here. You put your hand in.
Oh, yeah.
And
All right.
you can pull out hope. And so,
Oh, no.
but we're gonna keep going. See
All right.
how many you can get. Okay, you've got
let's do it.
one.
Let's do it.
One in the bag. You've got 5 more to go, or 4 more questions to go.
Okay.
Thriller is the best-selling album of all time, according to several sources. How many certified copies have been sold, rounded to the closest million? And just to make you feel bad, I guessed this correctly.
So I know
Yeah.
it's gone diamond, and I feel like it went like triple diamond. I'm gonna say maybe 30 million.
Not bad. Not a bad guess. I think a lot of people would have gotten further off than that. 47 million. 47.3 million.
Okay, I can live with that.
But yeah, I guessed 47 when I got this trivia question. And then I saw the answer and I was like, I'm a god.
That's a lot of albums.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's a
It's
lot.
back
of
when
them.
people paid for them too. So
Right. Yeah,
Good
and
for
you're
him.
thinking back then an album cost like 10 or 12 bucks, something like that, right?
something like that. Yeah.
Right? And so yeah, at the very minimum, that's like $473
It's big.
million off of one album.
He definitely made some good money. Yeah.
Yep. And then he spent it on like Neverland.
Giraffes.
Hey,
and
Yeah.
being
If you
Peter
had that
Pan.
kind of money, you'd open a theme park too.
He got a monkey. All right. So what do you have?
All right. On January 27th, 1984, Michael and the other members of the Jacksons, aka the original Jackson 5, were filming a commercial when during a simulated concert before a full house of fans, pyrotechnics accidentally set Jackson's hair on fire, causing second-degree burns to his scalp. The commercial in question was for what company?
Pepsi.
Yeah.
Got another one.
I knew you'd
Yeah.
get that. That one I thought was like a gimme.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
That one seemed like a gimme to me. Like anyone
I may have-
born around that time. Because he caught fire in front of the Pepsi logo.
Yeah.
So it's like
There's video of it somewhere. I feel like.
Right.
Yeah, or pictures of it. Yeah.
so it's like you just see him come out and like, oh, and like run away. And you're like, Pepsi, the taste of fire.
I guess the problem with this one is I usually write my trivia questions based on the things that I didn't know, assuming everyone else is like me.
It's not a bad
Oh,
one.
you're an
Because
idiot.
when we're doing, fucking kazoo trivia, it works. But
So this is my favorite one. So of all of them.
All right, let's do it.
Freddie Mercury
Yes.
was recording a track with Michael Jackson
I feel like I heard about this one.
when Jackson brought his pet, Louie, to the studio. Mercury left the studio because he did not want to record with the king of pop's unusual pet. What kind of animal was Louie?
I want to say it was a monkey, but I feel like he was weird enough that it was not a monkey.
Because monkey's not weird.
I want to say no. You know what? Fuck it. I'll say it's a monkey. Is it a monkey?
I figured people would guess that. Bubbles was the monkey. Bubbles
right.
was the monkey.
Was it a snake?
No.
Ah.
And I guessed this one right too. Llama.
He brought a llama
A
to the
llama.
studio.
Yeah.
I would have left too, man. I'm like, nah, man. I'm not doing that right now.
Puts the llama in front of the microphone. Just a spit take. All right. I got that one right, by the way. I guessed that one right as well.
Nice.
And I think I remembered it because that like just stop dogging me around, that like video. I think he has a llama in it. And I knew that Bubbles was the monkey, so I was like, it's not the monkey. And so I thought it was the llama. All right, Adam, last but not least.
Michael Jackson became famous as a member of the Jackson 5. What were the names of the other 4 Jacksons?
Tito.
Yeah.
I know it's with a J. I feel like not Jerome. No. Jared. I don't know. Actually, I just know Tito.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that would be my easy one.
Yeah.
Shows how much I know about
No, yeah. I had 2 of them. I could guess 2 of them. And it wasn't Jared. There
But
was
is it with a J?
There was only one.
There was one with a J. There's
Yeah.
Tito, Jermaine,
Yeah.
That's the guy's
Marlon,
name.
and Jackie.
Oh, no, I would not have gotten the other 2.
Yeah.
No. I know of his sister. What's her name? Janet Jackson.
You
yeah,
couldn't
there
have scripted that better. I know his sister, the one I
And then
don't
the other
remember.
one, the one they don't talk about. Yeah. I forgot her name already.
Which one?
Latoya. There you
Latoya and Janet,
go. And Janet.
the
And
better
his
known
dad
one.
who beat on him all the time. But
That's two. Yeah,
Randy was very
Joe,
bad.
Shoeless
Joe Jackson.
Joe,
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Jackson.
Shoeless Joe. Not the same one. Okay. All right. So you ended up getting 2.
Yay.
That's pretty good.
Sweet, man.
We have a lot of people who don't get any, so you've won. So I'm gonna go get the prize, the prize sack. Put your hand in. Where did I put the prize sack?
I'm glad Archie's sack of fun.
Yep. All right. We didn't actually wrap anything because we're lazy. So you have to close your eyes and then reach into the sack of fun, and hope you get your hand back. So all right, go ahead. Reach
All right,
in there.
Reaching in.
Oh, there you
I'm
go.
out.
Yeah, you're
There you
good.
go.
There you go. Yeah,
The
that
hell?
has teeth. That's that was used once already, but we washed it.
I like this. Oh, that's
There
nice.
you go. What'd you get?
It's a little frog guy with some scales.
Yeah, there you go. So
Nice.
now you can go back to your girlfriend and be like, I bought you something. It was really thoughtful of me.
Yeah, I'm totally giving this to her actually.
Yeah. See, look at that. We are making relationships happy here at Another Wasted Hour.
Yeah.
That's our 5th podcast.
Yeah, right.
Keith and Adam's relationship advice.
I have a feeling that one would have legs. I wouldn't recommend anyone take that advice, but I think people might listen. At what horrible advice might actually come out of it. Speaking of horrible advice, you now have to come up with a category for our next guest. Now the question is, you did pretty good. You got a couple in there. Do you want to pass that luck on to them and let them feel that? Or do you want to kind of grind your heel into them and prove that you're better by giving them something really hard? Right?
It can be something broad, right? It doesn't have to be something specific category or
You don't want to just be you don't just want to be words. Right?
Okay.
That'd be really shitty.
I will say
But something, yeah. Michael Jackson's somewhat broad, right?
we'll say then how about music scandals? Could that be a category?
music scandals.
Music scandals.
Oh.
or
Okay,
celebrity
music-
scandals. There you go. Celebrity scandals.
Celebrity scandals. Okay. Celebrity scandals. I think we can do that. All right. I'm going to write that down without actually saying it right. Scandals. Close enough. I just wrote celebrity scandals. Come help me autocomplete. There we go. All right. Celebrity sandals. Next show. Oh, no, that's wrong. That is incorrect.
Celebrity sandals. Let's bomb Iraq.
Yes. Iraq. I like jelly beans. All right. So that will be next week. So stay tuned. You can
Yeah.
listen to the next episode and see how well they did with celebrity scandals.
Let's do it.
Congratulations. You got 2 out of 6 right. That's very, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll have to be, if you ever come back on, we're going to have to be more difficult. We'll have to clue
Amp it
the
up.
previous people on. Yeah. We can't let this continue. All right. So now
Hopefully
we're
I
going
don't
to
have to
move
write trivia
on.
questions about things that I'm also clueless about.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So let's move on and learn a little bit more about you, Luis.
Sure.
So this is a section we like to call near and far. We've got a couple stories, one that's near, one that's far.
That's what it's about.
Okay.
Yeah, you understand.
Simple enough. All right.
Yeah. And so we're going to try and dig into what it is to be Luis, to run a festival, to how you got to where you are. So so let's start off with near.
Mm-hmm.
This is always one of the greatest things. You brought this story to us, and I think it's fantastic because we all have this story as musicians. And so your story is the worst gig ever.
Worst gig of my life. Yeah.
And it's something we can all relate to, anyone who's done performance, because everyone's had that.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us a little bit about the worst gig you've ever had.
So it was at Club Heaven and Hell, and this was about.
And they invited you back.
Yeah, they didn't have great memories. So it was for Flash Band's. I think it was their 2nd or 3rd year anniversary kind of deal.
And for people who don't know what Flash Band is it's like speed dating for musicians,
Yep.
right? So you basically a bunch of musicians get together who want to do music and want to play with other people, but don't necessarily have everything organized together. And then you draw names out of hats and you make bands right then and there. And then you guys all go to your separate places and you practice for like a month.
Yeah.
For 1 month. And then you come back and have a festival, essentially, have a concert with each of these bands, and you play 2, 3, 4 songs.
Like 15 minutes of
15
songs.
minutes
Yeah.
of songs. So it's like 3 or 4 songs.
4 or 5, yeah.
And but it's all these people who literally just met a
Yep.
month ago and then practiced these 4 songs. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
so you were doing Flash Band. You
Yep.
went to Heaven and Hell. This is the concert that follows that. So right.
So at this point, it was actually with my band.
Your band.
But they invited us to kind of like play as like an alumni band almost for this event.
Did you guys meet at Flash Band?
We did, yeah.
So
we
you
did.
guys got together, you met as a band, and then you stayed together.
And we stayed together for like 3 years. Yeah,
That's awesome.
For a while. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So this was this isn't the first year into us being a band. So I was still learning how to like perform
Sure.
and how to like
Yeah.
not drink as much before I go on stage.
Right, because when you're first starting out, you're like, I could probably use some alcohol
yeah,
because
it's
this
rock
is
and
really
roll all
scary.
the time. Yeah, it's like, whatever
Yeah.
is that lifestyle.
I'm nervous. I don't want to remember this, and I'm a rock star. Let's fucking do this.
So I did that, but
Yeah.
I overdid it. So I have video of it actually because I recorded it on my iPad. And in my mind, the night of the show, I thought, oh, it sounded great, and like people will tell you, oh, you guys sounded great. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't remember much after that. I remember at some point I must have blacked out because that's what happens when
Yeah.
you drink too much. But the next day I looked at the tape and I was like really embarrassed at myself.
You say you black out when you drink too much, but what people usually call that is doing it right. Just
I was definitely rocking and rolling
Yeah.
on autopilot at that
so
point.
you pull up this video. You're still in your mind. You're thinking like,
oh, I
that
killed
was
it.
pretty good.
Yeah, I
right?
thought it was awesome.
We knocked that
like,
out.
Yeah,
And so
but
you
it was shit. It was terrible.
What happened? What was the video?
So I forgot the lyrics to the songs. At some point, I was. I guess you can say I was moving around on stage, but it looked like I was almost about to fall off stage at some point. And the thing that made me the saddest was that leading into the set, there was like a ton of people. You can see like a bunch of people in the audience hanging out, getting ready for the set.
Yeah.
And like 2 songs into the set, people started trickling out because people were just like, what is this going on?
What is
Like it was
this
terrible.
garbage?
And yeah, I was really embarrassed by that.
And
I
these are
learned-
people who are expecting to hear bands that have been only around for a month, and they trickled out.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. It definitely hurt for a little bit, but I learned from that because
Yeah.
after that I was like, yeah, let me slow down when I do this. Maybe
Right.
drink after I perform.
Right.
So I learned a very valuable lesson out of that, but it was
Good.
still the worst gig of my life, and never ever again am I drinking that
I mean,
much.
the only good thing about it is it's the worst gig of your entire life, and you weren't even there for it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Right, so
Completely
you're like,
out of it at that point.
that was really bad, but I mean, at the
Blackout
time-
Me had fun though. I
Yeah.
know I had fun, but
And then you said for Far breaking into music.
Yep.
We've got a half minute or so. Tell us real quick. What was that about?
As a result of that, actually, that festival is what gave me the idea for Audioteka because I saw the potential in the
okay.
venue because they also did 2 floors, and then the side venue also had like a little stage. So that kind of inspired me to do Audioteka, and it was maybe like 2 years after that I finally did Audioteka.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't help but look back on it now and think like, damn, you came a long way from being this kid who was like really shy, really like wallflower type, really nerdy guy to like putting yourself out there and like doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And putting on the show with all these people that I've come to meet and like love and like support, and I think they're great. So it's been a journey. It's had its ups and downs.
Sure.
But it's been fun. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, you've come a long way, and I'm glad that you came out today,
Yep.
that you've got that. But we've run out of time. So thank you
good
so
timing.
much for joining us. Did you have a
Thank
good
man.
time?
I had a great time. Thank
All
you
right,
guys.
everybody. Usually this is where I do a rundown of a ton of local events happening this week. Trust me, there's going to be a huge amount of music out there, but no offense to the bands who will be doing their own thing this week. We love you, but we have 2 gigantic festivals happening this weekend. So If you love music, you should be hitting one of those up, if not both of those festivals. Seriously, write this down. Audioteka Festival at Heaven and Hell in DC is happening Thursday through Sunday, August 16th through the 19th. DC Music Rocks Festival is hitting 930 Club Stage on Saturday. Go to these events. You will not regret it. Please like our posts, follow us, retweet us, share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Don't forget to review us on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play. Thanks to my summer co-hosts, Adam, Kevin Evinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Figmental Records, Figmental Studios, and Alchemical Records for all their contributions. Most of all, thanks to Audioteka for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This visit has been another wasted hour. And if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.